Euthanasia in public animal shelters was banned in Taiwan starting on February 4th under amendments to the Animal Protection Act. However, a stray dog was recently euthanized in Taichung after biting a person. Animal rights groups say zero euthanasia has become merely a catchphrase.
There are currently 400 dogs awaiting adoption at the Taichung Animal Shelter. Last month, a stray dog was captured by the Taichung City Animal Protection and Health Inspection Office after biting a person. A resident attempted to adopt the dog on February 2nd, but was told the dog had been euthanized on February 1st. The angry resident then informed animal rights groups of the incident.
他是在大年初五的时候被安乐死的嘛，那其实隔天就已经上班了。那已经有很多的民众他想要去认养他，为什么不能等到那一天，让大家去看了一下他的情况？好，然后如果能够认养出去的话，不是很好吗？那为什么要匆匆忙忙的就把他送走了？我觉得这个是很值得我们要怀疑的地方。
Last year, the legislature revoked a section of Article 12 of the Animal Protection Act that permitted the killing of animals held in shelters that remain unclaimed for 12 days after a public announcement of capture. Animal rights groups interpreted this action as a zero euthanasia policy. However, the office says zero killing does not equate zero euthanasia.
几乎每天都会去看它，然后做记录，然后只知道说2月1号的时候发现到这一只犬只哈，真的它已经精神身体状况真的很不好了，甚至说已经昏了哈，昏迷的这个情形之下，所以同仁而且2位兽医师的判断觉得这样子安乐死来讲的话，对他来讲的话，可能是对他最好的大的福利。
It adds the dog that was euthanized was suffering from health issues, and euthanasia was the best option. The office says there are other provisions on euthanasia in Article 12. To prevent misunderstandings, it will establish a euthanasia committee with animal rights groups to address whether dogs and cats in poor health should be euthanized.
Taiwan now has banned euthanizing stray animals in public shelters. The law came into effect after 2 years of preparations since it was first passed by Parliament. Taiwan saw an increase in stray dogs in the 1980s when there was an increase in pets following an economic boom in the country. According to official statistics, last year, Taiwan had over 60,000 animals in public shelters, of which 12% were euthanized. An animal welfare group estimated that more than 1.2 million animals not adopted from shelters have been put down since 1999. While the ban is considered a milestone in animal protection history, several experts we interviewed say that ending the practice may not be all that good for the animals.
With limited human resources and a heavy workload, the veterinarians or the staffs in the shelters that have no time to follow up individual conditions. And horrible living conditions not only impair the health of the animals, but also increase the animal stress, which leads to poor animal welfare. And second, the animals might spend months or years in cages if they are not able to be adopted by families. With the idea of zero euthanasia in the mind of the public, it, in a way, indirectly eased the ethical burden of the people who wanted to relinquish their animals in the shelter. So you see, a good intention policy can lead to several negative consequences.
As Ling has pointed out, the ban could lead to a decrease in the quality of shelters due to animal overcrowding. Even before the ban, many animal shelters in Taiwan were operating at their full capacity. The most recent report put the number of stray dogs around Taiwan at around 128,000. And the maximum number that the public shelters could take in was merely 7,000, according to official statistics. Piling on the issue of shelters' capacity was a manpower shortage. Constantly, every public shelter inspector had an average 409 animals to examine and another 200 to look after. The government has moved to invest an additional 500 million NT dollars to subsidize local governments, the highest ever budget to address the problem since the Animal Protection Act was enacted in 1998. Many still see it as a short-term solution.
There are not enough the human power and resource support together with this policy. So that is one of the major issues. And the second one is that the new animal protection law, they have adding some more new conditions, like the one to add the tracking breeding center, which is the animal pet shop, their breeding center. But this condition is not coming with any checking list. That means I don't know how they're going to perform this checking since they don't have checking lists.
Paradoxically, the new law could also lead to more people abandoning their pets, knowing that they will not be put down, while those who abandon pets on the streets may face a fine up to 150,000 NT dollars. Under the new law, however, it costs just thousands of NT dollars to legally give up a pet at the shelter. For example, Taoyuan City plans to charge people around 2,500 to 3,500 with the hope to discourage people from giving up their pets. Besides, the city will also launch a working dog training program.
A zero euthanasia policy recently went into effect. To prevent overcrowding at animal shelters, Taoyuan City's Office of Animal Care and Control is planning to levy a service charge of 2,500 NT dollars to 3,500 NT dollars on pet owners who want to give up their pets.
在我们收容的比例里面，大概有60%以上是来自于饲主的主动弃养。这个比例这么高，所以我们要思考一个机制来做一个管控。也是对于饲主的责任的加强以及使用者付费的一个概念的推动。
The Taoyuan City government says it will set a waiting period of 30 days. After pet owners register to give up their pets, the office will take a photo of the pet and upload it to a pet adoption platform. If no one adopts the pet after 30 days and the pet owner does not change his or her mind, the pet will be sent to a shelter and the owner will be charged.
收容所可以持续提供给流浪动物有良好的照顾之后，才可以喊出零扑杀这种口号。
主人不要擅自抛弃那个动物，就会减少那个流浪狗、流浪猫。
To prevent pet owners from just abandoning their pets on the streets, the office intends to step up the implants of microchips in pets and reinforce the registration policy. The office will also launch a working dog training program this year to train 10 dogs a month for future work as security and protection dogs at schools or factories.
After all, it's people's attitudes towards animals that must be changed. Would-be pet owners have to receive education and fully understand their responsibilities. Adoption, of course, needs to be encouraged. In the past, everything was done to keep the shelters from the public eye. High fences were placed with warning signs to discourage visitors. These measures make it virtually impossible to recover a lost pet, let alone adopt one.
I think the shelter has to enhance its interior design to make it more like adoption-friendly environment. Once the visitors go into there, they see at least for the adoption area, they see these cute puppies, and they will have more sympathy toward these dogs. And so I think to create a good environment is very important.
In conclusion, the ban alone is not enough to solve stray animal issues. We must tackle the root causes with population control. We're making it harder to buy a pet, creating standard guidelines that prioritize animal needs and welfare, allowing humane management of stray animals. Of course, stricter enforcement of pet industry regulations is of paramount importance, including breeding farms, pet traders, and pet shops. Only by doing so can we see an end in sight to the suffering of stray animals.